So in this video, I'm going to show you how I put together this weldtables.com Certiflat welding table. The video you're about to see I actually filmed 2.5 years ago and just forgot about it. And then I was going through my video archives as I've been getting set up in the new shop and found the video and thought, hey, this could be helpful if there's somebody looking at getting one of these tables, which by the way I really like. I've had it 2.5 years now. When this video was shot, I had not yet gone to welding school, so everything I knew about welding at the time was just from YouTube videos. And it shows a little bit. When I got this, I put it together with a little Forney flux core welder, which did fine. If you go that route though, one thing you have to keep in mind is flux core is going to throw spatter all over the place, and it's spatter that's going to have to be ground off. But you can avoid some of that if you use some anti-spatter spray first. It'll clean up a whole lot easier. I didn't know that at the time. Also, if you have access to a MIG machine, that would be a lot cleaner for this type of a setup. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in the time machine and see me from 2.5 years ago unboxing and putting together this table. So a couple months ago, I decided my existing welding table, the welding table that's been used in probably all of my welding related videos so far, I decided it was too small, not flat enough. It was a great table to learn on, but I've outgrown it. And for a long time I've been wanting to get one of the Certiflat weld tables from weldtables.com, and I finally saved up enough money, got one ordered, and then it's been sitting in these boxes in the shop for probably 2 months, just because I've been really busy at work and with other projects. And now that I've got the new Forney welder, I thought, well, now is as good a time as any to finally get this thing put together. I've got some projects that are just too big for my old table, so I need to get it going. So we're going to get it unboxed, hopefully get it put together without too many problems, and then I can get to work on these other projects. I did go with the 2 by 4 foot model, and I did order the leg kit for it. I'm going to try to make some sort of arrangement for casters to work on it as well. Since I don't have a dedicated welding shop or welding area necessarily, it does have to be able to move. So that is one little mod I'll be making. Oh. Apparently it comes with casters. I didn't realize that. Cool. So this was everything that came with the leg kit, and I guess as part of that I ordered casters. I just didn't realize it. Anyway, they look pretty decent. I'm going to try to get the top put together first. We'll worry about the base afterwards. Now we'll try to unbox the table itself. So one thing I was not expecting, it's not assembled. I mean, it's not welded together, but it is put together, which is kind of handy because I don't have to try to interpret a technical drawing. It's already done. So now I've just got to take the packing lumber off of this and see if there's any instructions. And I think it's just going to be a bunch of tack welds. I did order their little kit. This kit, I can't remember what it's called. As I understood it, these are some tabs to help hold everything together while you weld it, to make sure it really ends up flat. This kit does not come with the nuts and bolts, so I'm probably going to have to run to Home Depot real quick and get whatever size nuts and bolts are needed for this. There are 5 pair. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take this wood off. Alright, I've got the nuts and bolts, but in reviewing the instructions, one step that I missed is I need to see if there's a crown to the tabletop or not. So I need to do that first to see which side should be pulled up against the supports. So I'm going to take these off real quick get my straight edge out and see if we have a crown or not. So it looks like there's a little bit of a crown here in the center, and it's dished like this, just a teeny bit. So what I think I'm going to do, watching the video that Weld Tables had on their website, it seems like they wanted the side with the crown for the bottom of that dish to be pointing away from the support, so that when you put the support beams across and bolt it up, you're going to pull that in. So I'm going to go ahead and put the supporting structure back on and bolt it up, and then we can start welding. Okay. I got some 3-inch 3/8 nuts, bolts, and washers. Washers are probably not really needed, but oh well, got them anyway. Yeah, nothing needed. Now I'm just going to snug this up so that we don't have any more light showing through. Now that I've got these all cinched down and I'm not seeing any more gaps, I'm going to go ahead and tack these supports into place, kind of here and here, probably on these ones. And then I'm going to move these brackets to the outer ones and probably flip it over, check it for square again, tack those, and then we'll weld the tabs into place. Okay, I think we've pretty well got that tacked up. Before I move anything, I'm going to flip it over and make sure it's still flat. Sweet. It's looking dead flat, so I will go ahead and move these brackets to the perimeter and tack some more. So I've got that tacked everywhere. So now I'm going to take the brackets off, flip it over, check it for flat again, and if it looks good, then I'm going to go ahead and start welding in the tabs from the other side. Make sure we're still flat. That looks really good. So that looks perfectly flat, which I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, looking at how the system works, it makes sense. But for it to come out flat first time when I'm the one welding it, that's the surprising part. So we'll notice there's a little bit of surface rust in a couple spots, real minor. I don't think that is the fault of weld tables. I think that's my fault, because when I got this, I had it in the house. I needed to get it out of my living room, so I hauled it out to the shop, but I didn't bring it inside the shop. I sat it right next to the shop, and then we got a rainstorm that night. So I think that's what caused the surface rust, but it's just barely any, so it'll buff right out. I'm not worried about that. Anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and weld in all of the tabs to the top. And one of the things that was recommended in the video on Weld Table's website is to kind of vary where you're welding so that you don't concentrate too much heat in one area at a time. So I'll kind of just randomly jump all over until I hit all of the tabs and hopefully get them welded in real good. I'll probably have to grind a little bit afterwards, just because I know the quality of my welds, but let's get that done. Okay, I think I've got it all welded. So now I'm going to grab my grinder with a wire wheel cup, clean off all the spatter and gunk, just get an idea of how the welds look, see if it looks like I got everything well. If I need to add any more anywhere else, I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll clean these up. They are going to need a little bit of grinding or sanding or whatever I end up doing, because they are above the surface, so I need to clean that up. So let's do that next. So they're mostly good. There are a few though that I want to add just a little bit more to. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. So now I need to grind these welds flat and clean up all the spatter. It's looking good. So the spatter's removed. It's looking very flat. Maybe not completely removed, but mostly removed. Still a couple small spots I need to hit. One other thing to note, the tables from Weld Tables, they do come oiled and pickled. Obviously I've kind of destroyed that a little bit, but I was more concerned with cleaning up all my messy welds and my spatter and getting a flat surface. I can oil it myself later or wax it or whatever, so that part I don't really care about. Yes, it would have looked cooler, but I'm not a very good welder yet, so cost of doing business. I'm going to now flip it over and strengthen up the welds on the bottom because they're just tacks right now, which might be overkill, but it's good practice. So here we go. And now I think we're ready for the legs. I'm not sure a clamp is really needed, but just in case. And this is where the footage ends. I think this might be why I never published the video. I never got around to finishing the filming of the video. But here's the completed table. It's got 2.5 years of use on it. It did spend a winter outside in the snow. As I think I've mentioned before, my old shop was really, really small. There just wasn't room. And you can take rust off. So I really wasn't that concerned about it. Now it's in its forever home, and it won't be spending any more winters out in the snow like my thermal cutting table is right now. But I use that thing when I'm cutting with my plasma cutter and my oxyacetylene torch, so it gets some really harsh use. A little rust is not going to hurt it, and it's not meant to be pretty. The last shot, I was attaching the mounts for the casters. It's just a little plate that goes on the bottom of the foot, and it has a bolt welded in place, and then the casters screw into that. Did that on all four, flipped it over. I spray painted mine black, just with rattle can, whatever I got cheapest at Home Depot. It's been fine. On mine I added a shelf where the legs come together. There's some stretchers in between. I just got a piece of expanded steel. One of these days I'll get it welded in place. It's not yet welded, it's just in there. But it's a great place for junk to gather, so there's that. Eventually I'll also do a video about these Fireball tool welding squares, welding clamps. I love those things. They make it so much easier for your projects in terms of square. It makes it a lot easier to look a lot better than you actually are. One of these days we'll do that too. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to see more of the things I do in my shop, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.